Yesterday, Egyptian naval vessels quietly arrived at Eritrea's port of Asab. Egypt and Eritrea, a secret military agreement can increasing tension in Ethiopia. The world took notice. Egypt, North Africa's military heavyweight, was suddenly at one of the Red Sea's most strategic crossroads. These weren't routine visits, the warships signaled a deeper military partnership. The silence was intentional, leaving neighbors like Ethiopia guessing and recalculating their own strategies. This move was the result of years of shifting alliances and rising tensions in the Horn of Africa. Ethiopia, landlocked and ambitious, had been vocal about its need for sea access, directly implicating Eritrea. Eritrea, feeling the pressure, responded by inviting Egypt, fundamentally altering the regional balance.
Yooyyaa akkam jirtu dhaggeeffattoota imaltuu Oromiyaa News. Oduu guyyaarraaf qabannee isiniif dhiyaanne irraa haga dhumaatti nu waliin turaan affeerraa keenya. Masiriin Asabiifi Dooraalee misoomsuuf walii galte irra gahuun ibsame. Kunis Itiyoophiyaa irratti dhiibbaa uumuu danda'a jedhameera. Masiriin Eertiraafi Jibuutii keessatti buufata galaanaa murteessoo jedhaman misoomsuuf walii galte irra gahuun himame. Tarkaanfiin kun waldhabdee bishaan laga Abbayyaa irratti deemaa jiru dabalatee Itiyoophiyaa ulaa galaanaa argachuuf carraaqqii taasisaa jirtu irratti dhiibbaa uumuu mala jechuun gaazexaan Abu Dhabii The National maddoota Kaayiroo wabeeffachuun gabaaseera. Walii galteewwan icciitii malee mallattaa'an jedhame jalatti Masiriin buufatawwan galaana diimaa Asab, Eertiraafi buufata doonii galoo galaana Eden Dooraalee Jibuutiitti argamu misoomsuuf buufata waraanaa ijaaruu fi akkasumas gareewwan waraanaa muraasa kan leenjii waraanaa gahaa qaban qubsiisuu ni dandeessi jedhameera. Akkasumas buufanni doonii lamaan Baab el Mandeb yoo jiru kun balbala galaana murteessoo karra kibba galaana diimaatiin biyyoottan Awurooppaa, baha giddugaleessaa, Eeshiyaa fi baha Afrikaa wal quunnamsiisuuf baay'ee murteessaadhas jedhame. Itoophiyaan biyya daangaa Eertiraafi Jibuutii waliin qabdu taatus sababa buufata galaanaa hin qabneef meeshaalee daldala karaa buufata galaanaa Dooraaleetiin hirkattummaan alaa galfachaa jirti. Ta'us yeroo dheeraaf tattaaffii Itoophiyaan galaana diimaa irratti humna waraanaa hundeessuuf taasisaa turte sababa biyyoota ollaa irraa mormii mudateef osoo hin milkaa'in hafteetti. Akka maddeen ibsanitti waliigalteen dhimma kana irratti Eertiraa waliin taasifame dhuma baatii onkoloolessaa daawwannaa pirezidaantii Isaayyaas Afwerqii Kaayirootti taasisaniin milkiin kan xumurame yoo ta'u, kan Jibuutii immoo qondaaltota olaanoo Masirii fi Jibuutii waliin mariin taasifamuun ibsameera. Walii galteewwan biyyoota lamaan bu'uuraalee misoomaa kan dabalatu yoo ta'u, dooniiwwan waraana Masirii, dooniiwwan loltootaa akkasumas helikopteroota waraanaa dabalatee buufata doonii lamaan kana irratti akka qubatan kan taasisudha. Walii galteen Jibuutii waliin taasifames sarara daandii Dooraalee waliin wal quunnamsiisuu irratti fooyya'insa kan taasisu yoo ta'u, kunis hirkattummaa Itoophiyaan buufata doonii kana irratti qabdu ni cimsa jedhamee waliigalteewwan kun biyyoota lamaan keessatti waraana seera qabeessa ni taasisa jechuun maddi tokko The Nationalitti kan hime yoo ta'u, hooggantoonni waraanaa Masirii duraanuu buufata doonii lamaanuu yeroo baay'ee daawwachaa akka turan ibsameera. Tarkaanfiin kun kan fudhatame yeroo wal dhabdeen Masirii fi Itoophiyaan sababa hidha haaromsa guddicha Itoophiyaa irratti walitti gaareffachaa jiranidha. Masiriin bishaan dhugaatii ishee sadarkaa olaanaa laga Naayil irratti kan hirkattu yoo taatu, qooda bishaanii isheef barbaachisaa ta'e hir'isuun yeroo gogiinsa yaa'aa gara gadiitti mudatu sababni hidha guddicha Itoophiyaa akka ta'etti himannaa dhiyeessaa turte. Itoophiyaan immoo faayidaa diinagdee piroojeektichaa ishee cimsitee hojjechuuf mirga abbaa biyyummaa akka qabdu mirkaneessitus, Kaayiroo fi Kaartuum hidhichi dantaa isaanii akka jalaa miidhe irra deddeebiin mirkaneessuuf yaalaniiru. Mariin hidha kana ilaalchisee Masirii fi Sudaan waliin taasifamaa ture waggoota kurnan oliif kan itti fufe yoo ta'u, mariin marsaadhumaaf waggoota 2 dura fashalaa'eera. Kanaaf Masiriin biyyoota ollaa Itoophiyaa kanneen akka Somaaliyaa, Jibuutii, Eertiraa fi Keeniyaa dabalatee waliin tumsa waraanaa waliin taasisaa turtee jirti. Kanaanis deeggarsa ittisaa yeroo tokko tokko immoo loltoota bobbaasuu bara darbe Kaayiroon waliigaltee ittisaa hordofuun gorsitoota waraanaa fi loltoota gara Somaaliyaatti bobbaasuun deeggarsa meeshaa waraanaa garee farra shororkeessummaa Al-Shabaab akkasumas ergama nagaa eegsisuu haaraa gamtaa Afrikaa biyyattii keessatti argamutti makamuuf karoora qabaachuu ishee ibsitee jirti. Egaan dhaggeeffattoota keenya oduun guyyaa har'aaf qabannee isiniif dhiyaanne kan hanga ammaa ture. Qophii biraan hanga walitti deebinutti nagaan nuuf turaa jenna.
Yesterday, Egyptian naval vessels quietly arrived at Eritrea's port of Asab. Egypt and Eritrea, a secret military agreement can increasing tension in Ethiopia. The world took notice. Egypt, North Africa's military heavyweight, was suddenly at one of the Red Sea's most strategic crossroads. These weren't routine visits, the warships signaled a deeper military partnership. The silence was intentional, leaving neighbors like Ethiopia guessing and recalculating their own strategies. This move was the result of years of shifting alliances and rising tensions in the Horn of Africa. Ethiopia, landlocked and ambitious, had been vocal about its need for sea access, directly implicating Eritrea. Eritrea, feeling the pressure, responded by inviting Egypt, fundamentally altering the regional balance. The Egyptian fleet's arrival at Asab is more than a military maneuver, it's a warning shot in a high-stakes game. The port, once just a strategic asset, is now a flashpoint for the entire region. The world is watching, as a few silent ships may have just opened a volatile new chapter for the Horn of Africa. The stakes have never been higher. To grasp Egypt's move, you must understand Asab's value. Perched near the Bab el-Mandeb Strait, Asab overlooks one of the world's most vital maritime choke points, where the Indian Ocean meets the Suez Canal. Disruption here ripples through global trade, energy, and supply chains. Before recent conflicts, 12% of global trade and nearly 9 million barrels of oil pass through this strait daily. For Egypt, whose economy depends on the Suez Canal, securing this southern gateway is non-negotiable. A naval presence in Asab means Egypt can monitor, influence, and project power over this economic lifeline. Eritrea knows Asab's worth, having previously leased it to powers like the UAE for military operations. Egypt's arrival isn't just a port call, it's a strategic acquisition. For Eritrea, it's a defensive shield. For Egypt, a leap in regional influence. For the world, a new layer of military complexity in an already crowded waterway. Asab is once again the jewel everyone wants to hold. Egypt's move into Asab wasn't announced, it was discovered. Maritime tracking sites first noticed Egyptian warships heading south, their signals raising eyebrows among defense analysts. Satellite images soon confirmed the vessels docked at Asab, turning whispers into undeniable proof. Online forums and military analysts pieced together the story, speculating on Egypt's intentions and the regional implications. No government statements, just digital breadcrumbs and sharp-eyed observers. This is modern geopolitics. Actions speak louder than words, and ambiguity is a weapon. Egypt and Eritrea's silence forced rivals, especially Ethiopia, to imagine worst-case scenarios. The uncertainty itself became a powerful deterrent. Journalists and experts built the narrative from open-source evidence, revealing a calculated power play. In today's world, a major military move can become global news, without a single official word. The message was delivered, loud and clear, through silence. Ethiopia, with over 120 million people and a booming economy, remains landlocked, a vulnerability that shapes its national psyche. Since losing its coastline to Eritrea in 1993, Ethiopia has relied almost entirely on Djibouti's ports, a dependency that stirs frustration and anxiety. Ethiopian leaders now openly call sea access a national right, hinting at historical claims to Assab and raising alarms in Eritrea. Memories of past wars linger, and Eritrea sees Ethiopia's rhetoric as a direct threat. Ethiopia's reliance on Djibouti is a single point of failure. Any disruption could cripple its economy. The options: negotiate, lease, or, most dangerously, use force. Egypt's arrival in Assab is a clear warning. Any move on Eritrea now risks a wider conflict. Ethiopia's Red Sea dream just hit a formidable wall. Eritrea's invitation to Egypt is a masterstroke of deterrence, not aggression. Facing a much larger Ethiopia, Eritrea needed to raise the stakes without firing a shot. By bringing Egypt into the equation, Eritrea internationalized its dispute, making any Ethiopian move risk a clash with a regional powerhouse. This borrowed strength fundamentally changes Ethiopia's calculations. Eritrea's history is pragmatic, publicly opposing foreign bases, yet repeatedly leveraging its ports for security. Hosting the UAE, courting Saudi Arabia and Russia, Eritrea has always used geography as a bargaining chip. The Egyptian partnership is risky, but logical. It deters aggression and forces Ethiopia toward diplomacy. Eritrea isn't seeking conflict, it's ensuring survival. The message: Eritrea is no longer an easy target. Any path to the sea now runs through a port guarded by Egypt. Deterrence, not war, is the new order. For Egypt, Assab is about more than helping an ally. It's about power projection and national security. The Suez Canal is Egypt's economic lifeline. Controlling both ends of the Red Sea secures this artery. A base in Assab lets Egypt monitor threats and assert influence far from home. The move is also a message to Ethiopia, with whom Egypt clashes over the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam and Nile water rights. The naval presence is leverage, reminding Ethiopia that Egypt can pressure on multiple fronts. Egypt also seeks to reclaim its role as a regional leader, countering the influence of the UAE, Saudi Arabia, and others in the Horn of Africa. The Assab deployment is a low-cost, high-impact maneuver, boosting Egypt's prestige and strategic reach. It's a multi-layered strategy: economic security, regional influence, and diplomatic leverage. For Cairo, this is about shaping the future of the region to its advantage. Assab is more than a port, it's a statement of intent. Egypt's arrival in Assab adds new complexity to an already crowded Red Sea. The region is a global military hotspot. The US operates from Djibouti, China has its first overseas base there, and Russia is seeking a foothold. Recent Houthi attacks have turned the Bab el-Mandeb into a conflict zone, drawing even more naval power. The Red Sea is now patrolled by warships from rival nations, raising the risk of miscalculation. Egypt's move introduces a powerful regional dynamic. Alliances are shifting, and local actors are asserting themselves. The geopolitical map has been redrawn. The Red Sea is now a patchwork of interests, bases, and rivalries. Stability is fragile, and a single incident could spark a crisis. The Egypt-Eritrea alliance is a game-changer, signaling that regional powers are no longer content to be bystanders. The stakes for control and security in this corridor have never been higher. The world must now navigate these treacherous waters with extreme caution. The Egyptian fleet in Assab isn't just about bases, it's a message of deterrence and alliance. For Ethiopia, it's a warning. Sea ambitions now face a formidable barrier, and any aggression risks a wider war. For Eritrea, it's a triumph of strategy, leveraging geography to secure sovereignty and a powerful patron. Even small states can shift the balance by playing the geopolitical game wisely. For the region, a new era has begun. Local powers are shaping the Red Sea's future, not just global superpowers. The Egypt-Eritrea axis proves that regional dynamics now matter. as much as global ones. The ships in Asab are a line in the sand, a silent, powerful statement. In geopolitics, sometimes silence is the loudest message. The region is listening, and the rules have changed.